Hello, REBBL, GMAN Division 5B. It's me, your recapper Chug Manmilk, joined again by Dr. Hep for the last time.
Hello.
Well, what a season. We've had our
Yeah.
ups, we've had our downs, and now we come to the post-cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry for missing out last week.
Yeah, we can start off by saying it was kind of my fault. My internet died on me, and then it got fixed later that day. But I didn't. Yeah, it was a shit fest.
Yeah, and
The-
we couldn't have we could have done it on Thursday, I believe, because I went out and then
yeah, and then you traveled, and I got a shit ton to do, and yeah, it was just busy, so we didn't have time.
But we dedicated ourselves to the post cap because of that.
Yep.
Really, it is just making sure you get all of your episodes. But now there's like we were thinking, do we do a post cap? Well, the season was decided on week 12 because we never actually covered the week 12. We might as well cover it anyway. So in a post cap. But you've all known now for 2 weeks. You've been talking about in the chat, so this is no surprise to you that our top 2 were decided, and those top 2 were, of course, Falcon Merc in his second place challenger spot, cup.
Defense of the
Yeah. Bretonians made the challenger cup, and Nabla made playoffs. We've known about Nabla in the playoffs for a while, but just so everyone can look at the table now, I think it kind of can't be overstated how amazing these two did in their seasons. They only picked up 1 loss each, and the difference between first and second was literally a draw. To be honest, it did kind of creep up on me. I know Falcon Merc has been playing consistently well, literally all season, but the fact is that how close that first and second was is kind of, it's very impressive from both coaches.
And I mean, if we go back 3 or 2 weeks, it was close then as well.
Yes.
With Benny Boo up there and Animal up there, even Richest Tea up there as well.
Yeah, it was
so done.
The fact that there is a 6-point gap between second and third, of course, part of that is owing to the fact that Falcon Merc and Benny Boo had to play.
Yeah,
which essentially was the decider by a few metrics.
That was the first decider.
Yeah, so like but still, the fact is there's 6 points between second and third. That really only happened in those last 2 game weeks, and the division was much closer for the entirety of it. So either way, Falcon Merc did amazing, Nabla did amazing, but all of you, of course, you had your moments, you had your moments of glory. Big shout-outs, really, to Animal. Animal did consistently well with his humans, despite some knockbacks in the early part of the season. A few Blitzer deaths, he's still done fantastically. Benny Boo, unfortunately, kind of, tailed and tapered off towards the end of the season. But before that, he was high-flying and doing amazing. So again, commiserations to Benny Boo for those late losses. And even the mid-table, Richest Tea, always a good coach. Drastak had some hard games, but was looking very impressive for long stretches. Also, a big shout-out to you, of course, because after a tough start of the season, 5-3-5... quite a nice balanced mid-table record.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta speak for myself and say I had an awful season in the beginning, but then again, I think that I faced the top of the table my first weeks, and then I faced the bottom half of the table, so I'm kind of in the middle there.
Yeah.
Of and I expected as much for my own performance. And also my team now is cheating the last 3 games, literally with the strength up and agile up on that one.
Well, like that's sort of what Pro Elves do need, because Pro Elves do start out quite weak. they need the blitzers and they need the catchers to develop, and that's exactly what you did. Yeah. So now you're looking in good stead. And and even to the coaches who sort of finished more towards the bottom half, innovation. Well, season 1 Nurgle, you can't really look down too much on innovation for that.
I mean, you should look at this team and be amazed instead, I would say.
Yeah.
I almost killed Pestigo. I mean, we're gonna look into the team more later and 2 strength ups, but I mean, the team itself explains a bit of what have happened as well.
Yeah.
And I believe this can be said about any team, where even Mega's team is now looking fine for a season 2, I would say. Even though with the amazing death spiral that he had in the beginning of the season.
Absolutely. Some of these coaches have managed to build a nice going forward team, and frankly, considering this is a league and you're all, I think, assured promotion to Division 4 anyway.
I think we all are insured.
Yeah, I think so.
Because Div 5 is only for fresh teams.
Yeah.
If I read the rules right.
Absolutely. So, and this isn't like the CCL. This isn't like the multiplayer ladder where, because you had a bad first season or because your record, isn't great, you're now just eternally shut out of doing well. Just take this as the building season and then come back and, clean slate almost. I would rather have a team that could definitely smash other teams in the division and allow me to play to the best of my abilities than fret over, burning brightly in the first season and then, making it to the heady heights of the playoffs and then get smashed by a team who is 600 TV above me. So, not saying Nabla won't enjoy his run out, and neither will Falcon Merc. They'll both enjoy themselves. But I know for a fact that I face in my Challenger Cup spot a Division 5 team from, I think, REBBL. And, he has to face Claw, Pom, Jug, Horns, Underworld Blitzer, who could just delete his entire team. And I'm Division 4, so there is a danger at least. So anyone who's towards the bottom, at least you have a nice, fresh rebuilding season to...
Exactly.
And anyone who is now, kind of mourning the loss of the OI, I might as well put this out there. Get involved maybe in REBBL Imperium as sort of the post-season or the pre-season thing to do. Unless you're re-rolling. We know there's 1 or 2 people in the division are re-rolling, in which case enjoy Greenhorn, guys. Maybe I'll recap your division next year. Yeah,
and there's always upstarts in the Rookie League, and there's always Spin League over there.
Absolutely,
well.
Absolutely. So with that all out the way, let's now just we'll cover the Week 12 very briefly. You're looking at all the results. There's nothing too crazy here. I guess the 2 biggest results would be, 1, Raz did pick up his first win against Zahu's Rats, which, that just warms our heart. Congratulations, Raz. Skaven aren't easy to play against, especially when you have the natural 1-turner, so that's a pretty damn good result, I would say. Hopefully you come back next season with a good record, and your team hopefully is looking pretty strong. We'll get to you later. But the absolutely massive result of that week was Falcon Merc beating Benny Boo for a long period of time, his second place rival, and the 2-0 dispatching of the Orcs. It seems all very quite equal in injuries and KOs, even though more armor breaks on the Bretonian side. I think Benny himself kind of mentioned way too many times I let certain things slip. My quality of play would slip, and I'd let someone have an easy in. He kind of, by his own admittal, choked the last few weeks, and that's fine. I mean, if you're first season looking to qualify, that's the most nerve-wracking thing in the world.
Very much so.
I remember I was nerve-wracked the entirety of the last 3 or 4 weeks of my own season for the same reason. So there's no shame in that. And Falcon Merc was a fantastic coach throughout the season. So But this was the decider. This was the decider which pretty much said Falcon Merc has no real competition. I can't remember 100% if it just 100% confirmed Falcon Merc was going to be in the playoffs.
I think it did.
I think it did.
Because I believe, if I remember correctly, that if Falcon Merc won, there was no way for Animal either to win or get up there, because if it was such a big point difference. But if Benny were to win, Benny had the second spot almost secure, just to that both Falcon Merc and Animal could play for it and win if they both won their games.
Yeah. Okay. So
I believe Falcon Merc, and that game was the decider for if Falcon Merc won.
Yeah. So congratulations there on Falcon Merc on that one. For the rest of the game week, nothing was too important, I don't believe. Animal did at least win his game against Innovation, so he did what he could, unfortunately, which wasn't enough. In the battle between Rooney and Umi's Electric Boogaloo, that was a Richest Tea victory. You tied with Haramal.
Yeah, on a sneaky, super duper long pass and a super many dice. I think it was like 4 3+s or something.
King Can and Bolter Plop was a 1-1. I think we already covered that, though. I think they got played during the recap.
Yeah, that one got played during the recap, and we said that we're gonna recap it next week.
Yeah, we're not going to. Sorry. I mean, congratulations to King Can for once again doing good against Dark Elves. But that's about it. And our final result was a 3-0 victory from Nabla over Mego, pretty much cementing where he was going to be for the end of the season. But now we can actually look at this game week and what happened. Nothing really important because, like, as we said, everything in terms of playoff spots were decided. But for posterity, we're going to go over them because...
Now it's time for bragging rights.
Yeah, it's bragging rights. This is bragging rights. The first game, Zahu faced Animal. So that was Rats versus Humans.
Rats versus Humans.
1-1. One death apiece as well. One death apiece as well. Armor break slightly favouring the Humans. 50 blocks to 32 blocks. So Humans outblocked them, but couldn't pick up anything. Like, the Humans in a way got out KO'd, definitely, and barely they out-injured the Rats, which is surprising.
But this is also where we can see kind of where the Humans have a better armor result, maybe, or better armor than the Rats, as our Rats are AV7.
Well, here's another thing to point out. Animal rolled 10 POWs and 21 skulls.
There you go.
Then you rolled 17 both downs and 17 defender stumbles, which on a lot of pieces doesn't mean anything. But it does mean that a few of the gut runners will have survived dice they probably shouldn't have. And Zahi rolled 11 skulls to 12 POWs, which is a little bit more equal. He did roll 15 both downs, and depending who blocked,
Yeah, but
still, yeah. Although you can't always learn how a game went because of dice, it is worth looking at block dice because sometimes that will explain why. Yeah. I would expect Humans to outbash Rats every day, but for it to be so equal, that explains it in a sense.
Same. The MVP to the one-turner gut runner is nice.
Yeah, that is a nice result. It's still kicking. It pretty much is dead. Well, it's going to be on that team until it actually dies. But the one.
I mean, it's only lost a strength up, which just puts it on the bench. Really.
Yeah, I mean that's like.
So it's.
Although the gut runner is like, well, this is just your win button. You that goes on the pitch and you win. A lot of games. I still kind of, that's the one drawback of the natural one-turner for me, even if he had 2 strength, is that he has one purpose, and I just can't play with all 4 gut runners. I'm playing with 3 gut runners, although some people do it and have starts with 3 gut runners. I can't do it. One gets knocked out, and you have 2, your team doesn't function.
I know totally the feeling.
But you keep that. You have to keep that because it's actually useful. The second game was just Rooney versus Hannah Gash, so that was Drastak versus King Can. It was a 1-0 to the Lizards this time.
Yep.
congratulations there, Drastak. A nice end of season victory. The Under got out-blocked, but with armor breaks out-Kaz'd and out-KO'd, the Lizards, not entirely unexpected due to the fact that you have 2 Mighty Blow mummies. In addition to some whites with Mighty Blows, so skink hunting is a thing that can happen.
Yeah, and often we see Lizards bully other teams because they have the strength advantage.
Yeah.
And in later stages, they are just block spam on every Lizard if the Lizard have survived for more than one season, I would say. Or a few games.
Yeah.
But Undead can really punish Lizards, I would say, with the mummies.
Yeah,
because of
definitely.
the high strength, because of guard, because of they are also a slow team that can go.
Yeah, and the thing,
stomp forward.
And if you have a team with 7 ghouls and 2 whites, but also the zombies and the mummies, you can have a piece that outstrengths things and gets all the Saurus stuck, while also having pieces that don't outstrength the Sauruses, but can force them into either 1-9s with no block, or just like it can't go anywhere. It might have to use a Blitz action just to get a Saurus free, which sometimes gives you a positional advantage.
Yep.
In terms of explaining though why Drastak won this, it looks a little bit. You can't be certain. It could just be.
No. It could be just dice or positional.
The Lizards can score easy with 8 movement, and because of how, relatively slow the Undead are, especially with the move busted white, in my opinion, that could be a thing. But it's also worth pointing out the poor Undead only made 1 catch out of 5. Its dodges were 54% success rate. If those are all 3+, and that's abysmal. If those are like some 4+ thrown in from just like a zombie or a mummy dodging for whatever reason, sometimes to get them just out of being hit, understandable. But maybe it looks like the House and the Gash had the slightly worse dice. At least in other respects, that isn't just Kaz dice or whatever. So congratulations to Drastak.
Very much so.
The final game that Benny Boo and Nabla played was a 1-1.
Yep.
2 good coaches going at it. Orcs obviously out armor breaking the Elves. But out of those 6 armor breaks the Elves got, they KO'd 3 things. So in certain ways, they managed to keep numbers fairly equal.
And the death that we see from Benny's team is a turn 16 kill.
Ooh, yes, yeah.
It's a turn 16 foul, even.
Yeah, let's just risk this. He wins the T-shirt. I think he killed like an Edge 5 piece as well. So it's a real kick in the nuts. I don't think Nabla was very happy though.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, and this is the important thing to mention. Maybe like in terms of like next time we do a competition, if let's say Dr. Hep and I get put in Dr. Hep's division again and we have like another one of these competitions, all I will say is maybe 2 coaches should like say, are you okay with like turn 60 fouling? Just because like if you're all mates and you're all like playing for fun, it's a turn 16 foul can rub some people the wrong way, and you might as well establish like, would you be like because otherwise it causes bad blood. Some people are okay with turn 60 fouling, some people aren't. But if it's going to cause like controversy, and it's going to cause like bad blood, then you might as well like get out of the way. But either way, congratulations, I guess, to Benny for taking out an Edge 5 elf, which is always like a blight upon the world and should be removed. Either way, and also winning a T-shirt. But otherwise, it seems like it was a game not of too much note. Fairly equal. Congratulations to both coaches. A 1-1 between Mago and Harmel is the next result. It looks like the Elves were completely outbashed. 5 KOs and 5 injuries inflicted by Mago, which is stunning, to be honest. It is really stunning, considering there's not a lot of threat on that team. 1 death as well from the Elves, unfortunately. but a 1-1 is a decent result after that kind of Kaz dice. It appears that what Mego induced was Wilhelm Chaney, always a great...
it's always a great player.
Yeah, great player. Nothing too insane, I don't think, in the dice. Bad GFIs from Mego, but that's about it. Yeah. Everything else seems to be... the catches for the Elves is pretty bad, but if they're scatters, then it's not the craziest thing. Pickups are bad as well. Yeah, so that's just a very standard 1-1.
Standard 1-1.
Ball Plop took a victory over Benny, 2-0.
Over Raz.
Yeah, Raz. Yeah, Raz. Like, 2 Orc coaches, they shouldn't be 2 Orc coaches. There shouldn't even be 1 Orc coach.
13 weeks, still doesn't know the names.
I do. But the fact is, there's too many Orc coaches, there shouldn't even be 1 Orc coach.
There's too many damn Orcs coaches. There's
too many. There's two. There's 2. Which reminds me that there is I do the same thing to Harrimal and Bolterplop. I do the same thing.
Yep.
But yeah, it appears the Elves managed to restrict blocks by dodging. There were KOs and injuries inflicted, but injuries were one apiece. So it's not like Raz could clear out those Elves and get a positional or numbers advantage. In terms of dice rolls, why not? Let's look at this. Nothing too insane. The lightning bolt, however, failed to do anything. So that's a bit of bad luck there from poor Raz.
Yeah, that's bad luck.
Really stupids were okay, though. Pickups were a bit shite, but unless one of those was double fail, it wouldn't mean too much.
My guess also is the lightning bolt might affect the game really much as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Sometimes your opponent will give you like the most obvious sack in the world, and it's like, okay, we just lose this drive. You do the lightning bolt, you're all 1. It's like, oh shit, now he just gets away with it entirely. Especially if you're your Elves, and you can just be like, oh, I just dodge away on a 2+. So it's really annoying. But we now can't. Speaking of Elves, we come up to your game versus Innovation.
He did really well, I would say, considering the 2-0. It's actually supposed to say 1-1, but he decided that he wanted to try to level up a warrior instead and hand it over, and I totally support the decision because it's totally understandable that you want to level something that important. Unfortunately, the handoff didn't work out and the ball got on the floor. Whenever a ball is on the floor for Pro Elves, we catch it and just run it down the field.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, Innovation made the complete right decision. Absolutely, play for SPP. And secondly, that's unlucky as well, because if it's a 4-up, he has to, he catches the hand off a 4-up.
And I believe even it was on Iron John or Bluebeard, I would say, one of his Nurgle, Iron Nurgle warriors that would have leveled up if he caught the ball.
Did he dedicate a reroll to that?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Okay, well, if you dedicate a reroll to that, then it's like a 75% chance of happening, so that's unlucky.
Yeah.
But 2-0 either way is impressive.
It was a fun game though. He said, as everybody else, I understand now why everybody hates you, Elf.
Yeah, elves are a pain in the ass, and not least for Nurgle, because everyone thinks that Nurgle is the best, has the best chance against elves, but not really. You're slow and you don't have tackle.
It took me longer than usual to find the pass routes.
Yeah.
But I still, because I can pass across a half a field, it doesn't matter that he has all the tackle zones in the world.
Yeah, but I mean, Stink still affects Nerves of Steel.
Yeah, it does. But it's when I have a Agile 5 dudes on both ends that passing from one to each other, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
It's just 3 pluses and 4 pluses anyhow.
Yeah.
So with built-in rerolls.
And the last game, though, just to round off, is Defense of the Anagrams versus Umi's Electric Boogaloo. So that's Bretonians versus humans. And Falcon Merc made sure that he had a winning end to the season just to cement his second place spot. He dispatched Richest Tea 2-1.
Yeah.
It looks like the humans completely outcast, outblocked, out-KO'd the Bretonnians, but the Bretonnians just managed to score. And
yeah, it kind of feels like Richest Tea was playing for SPP on kill, and Falcon Merc was playing on SPP and win on touchdowns.
which is cool. That's fine.
Yeah, I totally agree with both.
I mean, it's not like humans are really a kill team, so it's not like this is Richest Tea's like intention to go kill things in every subsequent division rather. What could have happened as well is he wanted to win and wanted to score, but he just couldn't. Like maybe something failed, and
I mean, the statistics tell us also a story where Falcon Merc had
4 pickups,
45% of the occupation of opponent's half.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's about 4.
Well, okay. First, let's point out that Richest Tea's pickups: 4 successes, 8 failures at 33%. If those are all 3+, then that's just abysmal. 2 catches succeeded, 2 catches failed. Now, the worst case scenario, the best case scenario could be he made 2 catches all game, and they were just double. Like, there was just one, it failed and then re-rolled into a success on, like, a catch skill or whatever. A bad case scenario is he made 3 catches, 2 succeeded, 1 double failed. And then he lost the ball and lost that way. That way he just got 2-1 grinded in the simplest sense of the word. Falcon Merc's dodges were pretty good. Wake Up After KOs were pretty bad. GFIs were fine. Dauntless was bad. But if he's getting 2 dice naturally, it doesn't matter. And even 1 dice is okay against the Ogre. Either way, Falcon Merc once again showing his class, dispatching a very good opponent to ensure that he has a very strong position. 30 points on second place is stunning.
It's very good.
Yeah, it's stunning. Phenomenal.
30 points and 32 points from Nebulector. It's close.
So we looked at the leaderboards just earlier, and again it's here in the actual game client. So I guess it's time to briefly discuss where we thought teams were and how they ended up. Now, full disclosure, we didn't 100% go back and watch our first video. But I do remember who we said these the 3 top teams. We said Drastak, Raz, and Richest Tea.
Continue. Yeah, exactly. The leaderboard in game doesn't show it all because I see that Animal is above Benny. Actually, the 4.
He is,
the 5 first is correct. Yeah.
He is. Yeah, the REBBL.net also shows him to be above Benny.
Everything is correct. Yeah, I'm just checking. I think I saw some. I thought I saw something that was differentiating from the REBBL.net, because in REBBL they don't count the points as the REBBL leaderboard does, because it doesn't count with points.
Yeah, it doesn't. I still think that it must be generally the same, because I'm flicking back and it's
I'm looking back and forth and it seems about right.
Yeah. So yeah, this is all fair enough, but we did point out that we thought Drastak, Raz, and Richest Tea were our top 3. We said that Drastak and Raz had good teams,
much experience,
and we also said that Richest Tea had a lot of experience, known to be a great human coach, so was our dark horse. We believe that Lizards and Orcs are probably the most, they dominate, they're amazing, and most teams will struggle to face them, and they don't really have a bad matchup. Lizardsman's real only bad matchup for me are either a good elf team or Bretonnians, while Orcs pretty much smash most teams. Only Elves really have a good chance of beating them, but even then, the control that the high strength behind armor of the Orcs have can really just win most games. But an Orc team did do pretty well, but our Raz unfortunately was upper or mid table we predicted. He ended up finishing 14th. Commiserations there. But the thing that's more important to point out is, although a human team also became third, so there was a human dark horse, we didn't predict Bretonia or High Elves to be where they are.
No.
I think we said maybe mid-table for Bretonians. Bretonians can have a decent season.
Yeah, and I think we said the same about the High Elves.
But we didn't really single them out as like, oh, you guys are the top.
We did not. I would say, to defend myself, that I said that I never heard about Nabble Vector, as he was a first season coach.
I had no idea who Nabbler and Falcon Merc are, but at the same time, I didn't know who anyone apart from the Richest Tea was. So exactly, I was completely just making shots in the dark based on like racial matchups and all that.
And I think this season kind of went as I expected, kind of ish. Darth Drastak is a bit lower than I thought, but Innovation is down there. The Nurgle team.
I think the bottom or mid-table probably was like the most accurate about at least my predictions. The top half is like a bit screwy. Like orcs and humans are still kind of up there. Lizards aren't like basement level or anything.
No, exactly. I mean, my team finished on the 8th. Some Dark Elf team above me. So, I mean, I think we kind of predicted it well, I would say. It's just that the two that won, we didn't predict it.
Yeah. I think I mentioned Bretonia has the tools to do okay because, 4 block, decent access, 4 wrestle. It can do pretty okay, but I usually see Bretonia, for example, just completely falling apart, doing about nothing, because they just either explode or they're generally just built weird. Falcon Merc, however, managed to use his advantages well, in addition to also having good players. I mean, he did roll Pom tackle on his Blitzer, which is a way that Bretonians can just be like, okay, well, I'm amazing now. He did get Agile, I believe, 2 Agile. Yeah, he got the double Agile,
2 Agile-ups.
which is a bit of like an I win button as well.
Actually, he got in the end 4 Agile-ups.
We will discuss that. Yeah, we will discuss that. So this is an impressive team that was built by Falcon Merc, but your team can be great, and you can still not perform. But he managed to do both things. He was he played a blinder all season. Nabbler did the same thing. I am usually of the opinion that I hate High Elves the most of the Elf teams. Some people might make the fair argument they aren't the weakest. They have staying power. Most people say Pro Elves are the weakest. But High Elves, I expect High Elves to struggle from,
I can see them struggle in a really long stretch, but I can also see them high perform if they can stay alive, which they have an advantage of doing.
Yeah. I also think that maybe Nabbler's team was I think was the highest TV team going into week 1 anyway.
Yeah, and he kind of stayed the highest TV team for a really long while.
He would be still the highest TV team if it wasn't for the fact that Benny Boo's team is now highest. Also due to an event that happened.
Yeah, exactly. That event might have differentiated a 100k here and there.
Yeah, absolutely. But we might as well now just look at the teams in the retrospective.
Yeah.
Because there's something more to say about that. Our predictions were okay, but we'll start out now with the Richest Tea, because he's the first on the board.
Exactly.
There's nothing really bad about this team at all.
I like the team.
Yeah, he has his killer piece fully online. He has the 3 guard that he needs on the Blitzers. He has a blodge guard piece on the thrower, which is amazing to repurpose him as an actual useful piece on both sides of the ball.
Yep. I think he said that he's wanting it to use it on defense as a guard guy and on offense as a ball carrier.
That's fine. I mean, blodge for a ball carrier is great. You might as well just be like, it's okay, because if someone like tries a cage break, then I have like a natural guard piece in there in the form of the ball carrier, so you can't just base it and be like, aha, you can't knock me off, because you can. So that's fine by me. He's obviously building some sort of like dauntless catcher, which is a nice idea.
Yeah.
He lost like he lose the strength up catcher. So
I believe he lost something in those lines, or if that was animal. I keep mixing up the double teams.
I think it was he had the strength up guy, yeah. So now I got niggled, I think. His ogre, he asked like, should I fire the ogre now? Is this bloat? I think you said don't. That's a cool ogre, especially for the 1-turns. I personally think that I like stand firm and guard, and like that is by itself okay. And an extra 20k from the grab is not a big deal, and grab's good.
No.
All I would say is that I would like to try out for block, but maybe he can fire it if he goes to level 5 and has no block.
Exactly. Level 5, I would say fire if it doesn't have block after that, or a strength up. I would say any skill up, even agility, would make him more usable.
Absolutely,
I mean, just imagine dodging out with an ogre on a 3+.
Yeah, that is true. And
it becomes super strong then.
Also cage break if you had like break tackle and dodge,
I mean, and then you have grab, you just move somebody out.
Yeah.
Yikes.
This is like I'm fine with a mostly normals ogre, and also in this setting, which is perpetual league, you don't have to be particularly like, I need the most effective ogre possible to trim TV down for like matchmaking, because that just doesn't happen.
Exactly. You're still facing those 2,000 kill teams and those 1,000 1-turner teams.
Yeah, and like having an ogre that's like giving you 60k extra won't really give you much if you're significantly down anyway. It might get you something like a wizard, it might get you a babe or something, but would guard stand firm and grab be better? That's a real question. The only problem for me on this team is he hasn't fired a niggle guard dirty player guy.
Oh, I like him.
I hate him. No, he's bad.
Keep him until he's better than freaking that percent.
I know, because I feel like he's like a piece that is just waiting to go off the pitch. And like if you have a piece where it's like, this will almost certainly go off the pitch, and you're just like playing with the risk of being at 10 against most teams, and it's just, I don't like it.
Nope, use it. I would say keep it on the pitch until he dies.
Don't like it.
He doesn't have apple rights, but keep it.
Don't like it. Hate it. Despise it. But Falcon Merc has a team I don't have a piece that I despise, because all of these pieces are good.
I despise his killer.
Yeah,
no,
his killer is horrific. It's not the best. It's not the best Bretonian killer, because the best Bretonian killer belongs to someone in another division who is like now one of the best killers of all time.
Yeah, and one of the main people of REBBL.
Yeah,
you guys should have heard about him.
But he isn't going to any sort of playoffs.
No, his name is unmentioned.
Yeah, unmentioned. Especially his recap co-host, who is a horrific little Scot, who we shan't speak about, and should banish beyond Hadrian's Wall once again. He listens to these, I think, so he'll know. But his blitz. Let's talk about Falcon Merc's team. His blitzers are amazing. Yeah. They pretty much all, apart from one Tugger, rolled doubles or stat ups. So like these aren't like representative of the average blitzer. If they were the average blitzer, they'd all have like blodge, sidestep, and tackle and be like useless.
Yeah, exactly. They would be like armored up elves.
They'd be boring, frankly. But this team isn't. He has the double adjunct blodge blitzer and R sick tong. One Tugger is most standard of the lot with his leader blodge sure hands. Fair enough. You have tackle pom jump up blitzer, which is amazing. Yeah. This thing pretty much like won games for him. Yeah. And then and Shark Keats was bad all season. He just had Frenzy with like 6 SPP. Then he rolled Badger.
he just became like the ultimate. I'm gonna like frenzy you out of the pitch.
This piece needs sidestep and dodge, like so badly.
Or just sidestep, basically. Just sidestep.
Yeah,
Sidestep and dodge. Yeah, sidestep and dodge. He needs those two.
I still like dodge like more, just because I
Yeah.
think dodge is way superior. But I guess sidestep next wouldn't be horrible if you're like looking to surf. But it's up to him.
It's totally up to him. And I want to say that on the killer, he inflicted 93 injuries the whole season. And 2 kills for 13 games.
17 Kaz is the more like telling thing for me, because injuries just mean stuns, but Kaz means you're off the pitch. 17 Kaz is impressive. For record, my claw pom only got 20, so that's impressive for something with no claw and it's just a normal blitzer. His blockers are mostly solid. Rod guard's great. The edge up on the blocker is okay because he can reposition. He's fine. You might as well take edge up on this sort of team. There's nothing else really you would take apart from stand firm, and stand firm is pretty important in the long run. But edge up at least makes it easier to level, I guess. And if you ever wanted to not carry on the blitzer, I guess you could. The problem is that you need all these to be your guard things, so I would consider skipping that. Otherwise, he's got the dirty player peasant. He's got the 4-4-4 kind of composition. It looks good. His team, there's nothing really questionable at all about his team. The only thing I'd want more is if he could get the MVP on another peasant, which isn't like out of his control, to make sure he can get something like dirty player. He needs 2 dirty players, I think. Maybe get an extra man for the playoffs, definitely. That'd be the only way I could improve upon his team. Otherwise, it's really good.
The guard on the last blocker, of course.
Yeah, that as well. That as well. If he rolled another double for any piece that wasn't, if the Blitzer rolled another double, I would probably get Juggernaut. But if the other Blitzers got a double, I guess the Frenzy edge up would probably get Mighty Blow as well, just so you can Frenzy, and then if you don't surf or you roll pals on the first thing.
Tackle,
yeah. But I would consider giving guard to the edge up Blitzer and definitely to the ball carrier Blitzer. Because not too much else that you could really get. Otherwise, good team. We'll go into your team now. Hooray. And you have a really big treasury. Wowee. 260k in the bank. What are you buying? Oh no.
Hello?
Okay, okay. So anyone who wasn't realized why it was just a moment of silence is because the chat crashed. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna edit that out, by the way. You're just gonna have to live with that. You're just gonna have to live with that because the last time I tried to edit a video, because I realized a bunch of tabs that shouldn't be in my video, they were bank tabs were in my my thing. Or my email tabs for my work. I don't want to do them. I had to edit that, and it took 2 or 3 hours extra. To go for the editor, it would have to then re-encode it. It was nonsense. I didn't like it at all. I'm gonna check to see. The levels are okay.
All that I did say that you probably missed is that I've heard that he's thinking about firing you on Tugger and just buying a team reroll instead and skilling him in a different way.
He's gonna fly away. Hold on. I was moving on to your team before the thing crashed. One target.
Just so he could get rid of the 20k reroll and get a new skilled player and skill him in some other way. But I don't know if he's solid on that idea yet or not. Or if you wanna just buy a team reroll and play with 4 rerolls instead.
Okay, so here's my theory craft from Brett's. The only way you need a carrier anyway, and leader's okay. Leader's good. It does save you 50k extra from the team reroll.
It does,
The only way that I would consider recycling one tugger for me is if you rolled an adjup on a linesman, because I have this theory that you could make an amazing ball carrier and get to use all of your actual positionals to the maximum use that they should be used for.
Yeah.
Is if you got the adjup on the linesman, you then give a sure hands and then block. Then you have a sure hands block 3 edge fen piece for 120k, which is effective for a ball carrier. Like, that's efficient. And then you get to shield 7 armor piece from
with 8 like really efficient players.
Yeah, exactly. That's my theory that I've always wanted to try out but never had the chance to, because linesmen do die. Falcon Merc, I think you should probably keep one tugger because you do need a ball carrier. What else I mean, you could recycle him, but then you're just hoping to roll like doubles and then strength up and all that, which it's okay to have just an efficient normals player, especially when the rest of your team is pretty good. So that's just my 2 cents. But we move on to your team now.
Say what you say, and I shall spill my tea. Why?
My what I said was, what are you saving 260k for?
Market. I need God.
I mean, fair enough, but like, as I say, there was some rumblings about the market going on.
So for this season, the market stays as it is.
Okay.
We can buy players that are on the market now. Any retiring team we can't buy from because they are going into the next season's market when the market is gone.
The next season market is just a free agent thing, isn't it? It's just you sign a waiver.
I don't know at all. I think that's the market that people are talking about, and that shall be gone. But player-to-player trade shall still exist.
Okay.
And player-to-player trades are during the requirements that both teams have signed up for next season, I think.
Okay,
as well.
So you'd have to always, so you can't. There's no way to save money. You'd have to just make sure you find another coach who's willing to say, I want this piece for that piece. Then.
Yeah, exactly. And you're trading pieces between teams.
Okay. Well, I mean, I kind of get why, because people have justified it and said like, oh, someone can just purchase like an amazing player, save all the money up, and then boom. You know, it is.
And it's too much work for too little players that are using it as well.
Yeah, so I do understand that.
And I understand as well that the hours that he puts in is just as much hours that he puts into playoffs for 10% of the people.
Yeah, so like
of the league.
When it turns out to be a sort of like an issue of readjusting priorities because wasting time. Fair enough. Metal is like a family man and spends too much time on the league anyway. He's very dedicated. And the same thing with Sword and all the other admin staff. So
very much so.
My only concern is more so that there have been in the past players who have like survived on like 3 or 4 teams because just jumping from them and like have their own story, and that's always been fun and interesting. You do lose out on that to an extent, unless
they do.
I mean, player-to-player trades mean you could still do that, but if someone's retiring, then that doesn't really happen. A player who
which is unfortunate.
But...
Yeah.
And that means, for example, the best underworld team that the division has, the REBBL has, his players just go to the ether and we'll never see them.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's some of the unluck there. Yeah, so that's why I have 260k, and since I also want to buy linemen afterwards, and since my whole team except one guy is almost 7, I never know when they're gonna just explode. So that's why I've only had above 150k for my last match, so don't yell at me for that. I actually discussed it with the other Pro Elf people how I wanted to do it, and like 99% of them said keep the cash and play uphill for the last match.
It's not often that you and the Pro Elf people come to an agreement on how to...
What do you mean?
Normally they're
I'm
like,
great friends with them.
normally they're like, Dr. Hemp, no, don't do that.
And I'm
Don't-
doing it.
Yeah, no nerves to still throw a Dr. Hep. Too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, and I got it, and I did it, and he was wonderful. Then he died.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
But yeah,
But just briefly go over your team.
Yeah.
It's a solid team.
it is.
The only real weak point for me is either the unskilled thrower, but that's a work in progress. I don't
Yeah.
like having one of the blitzers be armor busted. He can do okay with the sidestep lodge.
He doesn't have any apparites, but he does his job.
Yeah,
so.
he does his job. My only concern is that if someone does find the power, it's much more easy for him to like just go down, and then he can't be used as confidently for his job, which is stand on cage corner and make someone sweat.
Yeah,
But that's,
welcome to playing Pro Elves.
Yeah, but that's still like the fact is the catches on this team are the way that the team works. You do have the catcher with the strength 4 edge 5, which is by far your
just
star.
a monster. He can come in anywhere and punch anybody.
Yeah.
It's a dumb piece, and I know it. It's wonderful. I love him to death. And that's why I won basically my last 3 matches.
Yeah. But this team will leave this division, even if you can't find a good market player, you'll have the money to like have a proper bench and have all the players that you need.
Oh yeah.
So this is a
so
team.
I'm starting out for next season really good.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, we'll go on to Raz's team now.
Yep.
So we mentioned that Raz's team at the beginning of the season was the healthiest of the teams. It was like the most developed.
Yep.
Okay, firstly, what's important to point out is that Raz's Blitzers have managed to actually get all the things they kind of need now. These Blitzers are looking much better. For long periods of time, his Blitzers were very undeveloped. His Black Orcs are getting the skills they need. He almost has a block on all of them. He almost has a second skill on one of them, and one of them does have a second skill.
Exactly.
His thrower is a work in progress. The edge up is very nice, but the Blitzers are really stars. The strength up lodge mighty blow piece is insanely good.
It's so good that I want it.
Yeah, I would love that on an Orc team, to be honest. The only obviously like small sad part about it is that it got strength up after getting mighty blow, and then got his dodge after mighty blow. So if that had been a piece where you could have had like strength up first, then the blodge, then you can go get guard, and it'd just be a useful support piece. But now this is like it has the kill skills. Yeah. I mean, I get the one I guess positive is that the mighty blow will help him get to level 5 and 6, which aren't too far off to be fair, and get guard and stand firm and be fine and be that complete piece.
Yeah. I mean, he can also develop it into becoming the real killer danger that can actually make a 3+ dodge. I would say making 3+ dodges isn't too hard, especially if you got dodge. Just be worried when doing them that they can fail, and don't do them as a beginning thing.
Yeah, don't do that as a beginning thing. On a pinch, it can work, although I will say 1 in 9...
It's more for survival.
1 in 9 is a decent chance of happening. With 8 armor now, because he's not 9 armor, a fail is an automatic armor check, so that's not great. I think that his killer piece should be Hector Barbosa. Get that mighty blow as soon as, then you have your piece that will get piling on, and proper killer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, it's a decent team. Raz has had a hard season, but this team is at least there's always like positives to take away. 1, the team's looking pretty good. 2, the fan factor isn't too high, so it's not like he's wasting a bunch of TV on fan factor. He has got, he got 200k in the bank, so he can go shopping for something. Maybe a decent Black Orc, but I'm pretty sure the Orc market will always be a hotspot of activity, considering so many people play Orcs. Orcs, I think, are like the one race that like is approaching or close to approaching like the limit on how many of a race can be in REBBL.
Yeah, I believe that the top 3 divisions doesn't count.
Yeah.
On something, I believe there was something about that.
Yeah, probably, but either way,
they are reaching the top very fast.
So it might mean that the market is full of players, but it could also mean the market has no players because it gets snapped up. We'll have to see about that. But we'll now move on to Harumul's team. And Harumul has a decent elf team. He has 2 Blitzers with Blodge Sidestep, which is very good. 1 Blitzer with Blodge Tackle, Diving Tackle. Brilliant piece as well. 1 Blitz that is fresh, but hey, they'll level in no time. You have a fantastic Witch Elf that's a killer. A fantastic Sacking Witch Elf who only really needs Leap now to be effective on normals. You've got a Block Guard, which is okay. You've got a Move Up Wrestle Linesman as well for sacking potential if you didn't want to push a Witch Elf into it. You've also got a Runner. But one thing I'll say about this team, there's nothing that I hate about this team. The only thing that I would say is maybe the Runner is a bit too much. You know, it's 7 armor. You have to build it quite a bit. 7 movement's okay, but you don't really need it as much, considering the Blitzers and the Witch Elves are all okay. It's something that you might consider just not having, but you know. I have no real concern. The move up wrestle linesman is really nice because he's like a 5th Blitzer in a way.
It's really nice.
There's...
And I mean, he has guard on alignment, which is like for any elf team, it's just amazing to have.
It's nice. It can do some work. If he rolls doubles on the Blitzers that have sidestep, I would say guard, probably, because then that's just I think the best thing to give them. Because you can't really hit them and try and get and clear them because they can go into better places or more scary places or just be fine. Otherwise, this team is effective. Harumul will be playing, I think, next season with one of the Blitzers MG'd and the linesman MG'd, which isn't the best thing in the world, but hey, your team's still pretty good to take on whatever comes his way.
I would say so.
Now, let's go on to Benny's team.
This scary big orc team.
So Benny had a little bit more, like Raz actually, quite a lot of stat ups. He has a block edge throw, which is nice. 1 touchdown away from getting its next level up. Hopefully it's a move up. His blitzers are all online as well. He has an edge up blitzer, a move up blitzer. 2 guard on the blitzers is pretty good. 1 mighty blow, 1 tackle. Fine, at least you do have a tackle, I guess. His Black Hawks are real, the show stealers. 2 block guard, all block those, amazing. A troll with block guard grab. Now, this is my only criticism. You kind of want a piece. Grab is good down the line because it keeps things on the troll, and 3 edge don't want to be on the troll. But with block and guard, stand firm is probably better for me because no one can 1 dice you or 2 dice you to push you away. They'd have to power you, which is low odds on a 1 dice, for example, if you're just strength and also guard bullying. So that's my only minor note of criticism, but either way, you can still get stand firm next skill and be perfectly fine. Otherwise, Benny Boo's team is very, very good.
And I mean, the one downside I would say that is that 2 SPP lacking on one of the Black Orcs, but hey, you can't get everything.
I mean, the thing to say about that is at least you're not going to playoffs where that guard would matter, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have 30 more games in the next season to get that leveled up, and I would say that Benny's team is looking really solid. I would even say that I like the grab more than stand firm.
Okay, why?
Because I don't like stand firm as much as everybody's telling it. It's super amazing. I like grab. I like grab more so you can produce more blocks and kill your opponent.
Stand firm produces more blocks because if they can't knock you out or knock you around, then you get subsequent follow-ups, especially if you guard lock someone.
True.
It means that someone has no option but to dodge, and that if that fails, you don't want to chuck a reroll at it. It's like an automatic armor check anyway, even if there's no mighty blow. So I like stand.
I guess I'm more towards rolling dice than just letting people stand still.
I guess. Fair enough, really. I mean, I was also seeing discussion in the actual channel, in the chat, of should I get a goblin? I don't like it.
I saw it as well.
I don't like. What happens if you do have something knocked out and then you have to bring the goblin on? You just have an SPP pinata, but more so it's 40k that you're not really going to use. Yeah, you do have therefore the 1-turn potential, and some people will say like just the 1-turn potential alone is enough to get the goblin on. But I just don't think 40k of a goblin's worth it, to be honest.
So he's playing with a 13-man team at the moment.
Yeah.
A goblin on top of this would make it a 14-man team. My greedy tingles a bit when someone is mentioning a goblin on a orc team, and I would say go for it.
I just don't like. I like goblins. Believe me. You know, I do play Underworld, but I just don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like it on an orc team. It just for me, it's just like I'd rather just have all of my 9 armor.
Yeah.
And only have 1-8 armor piece, and that's the thrower, which I begrudgingly would have.
Yeah, or with an agi up, of course, because you said that was a requirement for you to have why you would have a thrower.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and amazingly, both our orc coaches does. So
amazing, yeah, I know. That's lucky for them. That's lucky for them. Our next team is Drastak, and he rolled something very impressive.
Yeah.
In that last game week, which was his skink with diving tackle got an edge.
Yeah, which he said was a humorous move out of Nuffle.
Yeah, literally the only downside is he had diving tackle.
Yep.
which is why when I've like played 1 or 2 games of Lizardmen, I've been like, I would probably much prefer something like Sure Feet on all of these first skill.
Yeah.
Just because it means you can push the position more. And like sidestep's okay.
I would say sidestep first, but
sidestep's okay. Like sidesteps are good. Is fine. My only concern is I would much rather like use skinks for what they are. For.
You would use them as cannon fodder, and I would use them as 1-turners.
I mean, like
basically,
even as the 1-turners, the sprint is like much better. Because
not because if you're blocking them in. I like sidestep.
So?
Because sidestep lets me choose where to put them.
Oh yeah, I mean sidestep's great for the 1-turner, but so is like Sure Feet. It means that you don't.
Oh yeah, but I mean if you got both, then you're in a perfect world.
Oh yeah, no, but the thing is like if you had a skink with 2 or 3 normals, it would go.
Yeah. It would go like I'm gonna try to pronounce this. Don't butcher. I'm gonna butcher it.
Yeah.
Kalahelgidis sexualitus.
Yeah. Luckily, the beautiful language of
I think this is Danish, but
no, it isn't. It's either Latin or Greek. I can't remember. I think this is Greek.
Okay.
No, Latin. It might be Latin.
Yeah.
So it's dead language either way. Either way, like yes. So that Salcides and his sidestep, sprint, and Sure Feet is like if you had to pick all the normals, those would be it. The only thing you might switch out is like sidestep for catch or one of those other ones for catch. Literally the only skill I do not really like too much on skinks is diving tackle because they shouldn't be basing things anyway. Like one skink with diving tackle, just you have that piece where it's like, okay, well, if things get desperate, I'm going to put you on something, and then they'll struggle. Otherwise,
I think
it's just a free hit.
Yeah, I think that's what this skink was doing.
Now he can't do that.
And then he was standing a bit too much forward and did 2 touchdowns, and then all of a sudden he leveled up.
Precisely. But either way, that piece will now dodge through any tackle zone on a 2+. Stunningly good. This team otherwise is pretty effective. It only has the 1 Saurus that needs its level up. The Dodge Saurus is so close to Blodge. The only thing it needs now, this team is more guard. This is what is struggling to get is guard. Apart from like the Dodge Saurus and the Unleveled Saurus, nothing else is really like in range to explode into an SPP Bonanza.
I mean, and those 2 are literally 1 hit each to level. Yeah. So I would say within the 2. For the next season, his team is going to be scary to face, I would say.
His team will perform very solidly, and it'll only get better throughout like the second season.
Yeah, because all of a sudden he would have like a full block team, a Saurus team, and every full block Saurus team is scary.
Absolutely.
even if they lack some guard.
Yeah. We will now go on to Animal's team. And
Yeah.
the disclaimer for this team is Animal said he's re-rolling because
Yeah.
he wants something that's more like force. He's learned a lot through humans, but he wants something that's a little bit more like force strengthy, a little bit more able
Yeah,
to
he wanted
bash.
a bit more bash and not as much elf.
Yeah,
And
hybrid teams are hard to play, and when you play a hybrid team, it's really like every game can be just like an absolute stressful pain in the butt.
yeah,
And
very much so.
He's suffered casualties. He wants something like a little bit more like has a lot of safety in the bashing game built in, which is fair enough. So when we talk about this team, we're not going to talk about it like what will he do next season, because this is going in the bin.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as a final, like, what does the team look like for us? The team's pretty good. The ogre,
I would say yeah.
The ogre is effective. It does what it needs to do really, which is be guard. The edge tackle blitzer is okay. I would prefer for him to have something like I don't know, like it's hard to build an edge blitzer once you've picked edge.
Yeah. After you picked edge, what would you have taken instead of tackle? I'm guessing the tackle is the one thing that is kind of on your mind.
Like a tackle blitz is okay still. I mean, I guess you could go mighty blow and say, well, it's a very mobile Saka. Because he has no other killers on the team. But sometimes it feels like the edges will eat like a little bit waste on that most of the time. But otherwise, the team is pretty good.
It is.
It's just that's always a hard thing to like build, that piece in there for me. Everything else is like guard, solid. Legolas got tackle, we know, because he faced Elves 1 week. That's fine. Usually this will just be guard, mighty blow, stand firm, boom, and that's for me. Maybe tackle on one or two
tackle
instead. Yeah.
Just to take tackle, just to defeat those Elves team, which is fine. We've talked about this where tackle might win your games now, where mighty blow might win your games in the long run.
Yeah, mighty blow just becomes like a makes sort of team a little bit more an efficient outfit.
Exactly.
Less so than guard. Guard's the thing that's needed. Above all.
Guard is always good.
But if you have like 3 mighty blow blitzers, you can make every block that you kind of need to make. You can really start to take attrition on the other side. Okay, so I don't know how you guys will hear this. It'll probably be like some sort of like really poorly edited stitch. But essentially what just happened was Discord went down for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And so
if I disappear again and he doesn't tell a thing about it, it might be Discord breaking down again. I don't know how they fixed it or if it's fixed or not.
If Discord breaks again significantly, you won't hear this anyway, because you'll just either use the finished version I currently have, which is just me for the last 10 minutes, or re-record this again, depending. I think roughly where we got to, because it won't be we won't be just redoing Animal's thing. We'll just be looking at the end. So we said that the blitzers are okay. But we got into like the thrower and the catcher. The catcher's great.
The catcher is great. Yeah, very much so.
The thrower is something that you could recycle. You could either just now start carrying on the catcher entirely, or just get a new thrower and rebuild it. Although you really wouldn't want to like get points on a thrower in any way.
A thrower on a human team is a bit weird for me because he passes on a 3+, and now because he got accurate, he passes on a 2+, right?
Which is good. Which is fine.
Which is good.
But he has 7 armor, so he can't play both sides of the ball.
Exactly.
So
and the problem with human throwers for me is that they can't do that long-ranged passing, as you want to do with passing. You just don't want to just pass.
Yeah, and for this thrower, it's like if he does roll like a double, you could get strong arm, but you probably won't dodge more because he's usually the thing. He's not just the thrower; he's the ball carrier.
Exactly.
So he's not great.
I would often see a thrower as a ball carrier, where catches are catches.
Yeah, it's weird because like you don't want to throw with humans, but catches are there if you have to make the handoff play. But at the same time, why not just remove a thrower, get someone that's 8 armor, like a linesman, for cheaper, or have the catcher who, like, if he has to score, he has the 8 movement, and by having him there as a carrier, it's the only 2 strength is being hidden, so you still have a decent chance of like outmuscling most people. But if you're running around with one of your 3 strength dedicated to carrying the ball, while like your 2 strength is running around, there's one piece that's easily marked out, even if it has dodge and free edge, while you know your blocking game is harder. So I would have considered throwing away the thrower.
Yeah, it's a weird piece that is like built to do something, but it's not built to do anything. And that's the feel of every human thrower. I'm talking about Norse thrower, I'm talking about Amazon throwers, I'm talking about any human thrower.
Yeah, I mean Norse throwers are are pretty useless. I mean they're okay, they help block at least, but I don't like them. They don't have sure hands, and the Amazon thrower is like just garbage. People be like, oh, you can build a thrower, you can build Amazon thrower to be okay. No, just
I've done that.
Just don't buy it.
Guess who have done that?
Just don't get the Amazon thrower. Like even if we're talking about like a league setting. Even if we're talking about a league setting, and not like a CCL setting, the problem is that you can build a much more effective team with 2 catchers, no thrower, and just carry, because you don't have sure hands anyway, so you're gonna have to be picking up on the free.
Yep.
Without having to dedicate rerolls. I'd rather have more rerolls, but better like handing off potential, and like I can't stretch the pitch at all because I have 1 catcher on the Amazon team. But I also have a thrower who is passing, which I shouldn't be doing anyway because it's 3 edge.
Yep.
So usually throws are bad. I see the point on the human team because he does have sure hands, but when you have 4 edge, even if sure hands 3 edge apparently is statistically slightly better in terms of pickup, I'd rather just be picking up with the catcher and having like the 8 movement be the thing that I carry with, especially now that 8 movement is also 8 armor, meaning he's
makes sense.
So I would have considered firing that. Otherwise, there's nothing to like stand out.
And I mean, he also got 230k.
Yeah, it's like I'm sure that came from like the last game. He wasn't going to be playing the market. He could get all of those, like he could fill out with just linesmen and have a very effective team for the next thing. Yeah,
but unfortunately, he's re-rolling. So we won't. It's the last time we see this team.
It is the last time. Salute to those humans. 3rd place in the 1st season. Very good.
Very good indeed.
We'll now move on to King Can's team.
Yeah, which has gone through a lot, I would say.
Yeah. So here's what I said about the team when you weren't here.
Yeah.
The mummies are both good. Strength up mummy is obviously the star. The grab mummy is fair enough. Grab's a good skill to have. It keeps pieces on that mummy, and with no negative trait as well. It's not like you wouldn't want to activate that most turns. I still like stand firm. I like
grab.
I said to the thing, to the previous thing that hopefully no one will hear now. You will say you like grab. I also like stand firm, but here's why I like stand firm. If they dedicate any pieces to trying and hit a mummy down, if they get a POW, then you would have to make GFIs to probably mark anything. With stand firm, anything that you dedicated will then be like stood up on by a mummy the next turn. So their problem remains the same, which is they have pieces being marked up by the mummy who has mighty blow, which they don't want. So that's why I like stand firm and the mummies.
Yeah, and I understand why stand firm as well. I've seen uses of stand firm. Don't get me wrong on that, but I like grab. It's a personal thing.
Yes.
I like the whites though. The whites are good. Only fortunate is that movement bust on one of the whites that I would recycle very fast.
Yeah, I would absolutely consider getting rid of it. I don't think that it's useful. It's just the team is too slow anyway. You don't need a movement 5.
Yeah. If you're keeping the team, recycle him, and your team should be good for next season.
I'd also say either go focus to score stuff on Meat Bicycle, or recycle Meat Bicycle. Because tackle only ghoul is disgusting. I hate it. It's my least favorite thing King Can of King Can's piece is my least favorite piece. Like the white I can't stand. You want your kill. You don't want to halfway through the season be like, I'm just gonna remove one of my killing pieces. But the tackle thing is just disgusting.
Yeah, and I would like him actually to get rid of that ghoul, the tackle ghoul, and actually rebuy a zombie instead, and try to, or a skeleton if he prefers the movement.
This is the thing I said is like I think all 4 ghouls are necessary, but you don't need 2 skeletons. 7 armor, fixed skull is okay, but it's still pretty bad. 7 armor.
It's still bad.
So you can break 7 armor way more than you can break 8 armor.
Very much so. Very much so.
So that's my comment. But for an undead team, it's good. It's solid. It has the things that it wants. And the strength up is definitely a nice touch. The only thing I will say is my inherent anti-undead bias. It's a very boring team. Effective, but it's like not. Yeah, it's not too exciting.
But that's what an undead team. That's why an undead team is reliable. It's because they are boring.
Yeah, I guess.
You take block on everything. You take guard on everything, and you smash others to pieces. That's why they're good on the first.
What I would say to King Can is this: scrap team, re-roll into Underworld, enjoy your life.
Exactly, until the Fang invasion happens in 3 years.
That's true. We're going to Nabla's team.
Yeah.
We're going to Nabla's team now. So obviously his Blitz with the Adjup, I think it was, died.
Yeah,
from the foul.
That's the one that died. Yeah.
But hey, it's not like he's really struggling for good players. His thrower now has dodge, so it makes him a lot more maneuverable.
Yep.
Movement 9 catcher is beautiful, and you now have an Edge 5 catcher on Celador. Who's also
if there's some elves that you want to kill, these are the elves that you want to kill.
There's no weakness really to this team. The one tackle only because one of the Blitzers died is sad. You'd wish you had like block on what the linesman that has guard, but that's still the guard piece is nice. This team will perform much better in just being maneuverable with its great catchers and its great thrower, and even a pretty decent blitzer. So not having more than one guard isn't really that important. This team will do quite well in the playoffs, apart from if he gets the worst matchup possible, which, considering the playoffs, very likely. I think someone knows who he's going to face, and it's like really bad, like Nurgle 2000, I think. It's something like that, something like a 2000 kill team, which isn't great. But this team looks good for now. We'll see what happens after the playoffs, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It looks very good now.
If it stays healthy, it will be a terror to anyone he has to face in the next division.
Very much so. Very much so.
Mego's team's now good. Or it's pretty good. It's okay.
Yeah. We gotta have in mind that he had a huge death spiral happening in the first season games with his team. And he has came back enough that I would say this is a fully shop and outfitted Necro team for next season.
Yeah, it has like a good amount and decent amount of has a good amount of guard in here and there. If that zombie has like a double, I would say again, a double, you might want to pass over a double or anything that isn't like a strength up for me on that zombie.
Yeah.
Or something like blocks. You need a block guard, really.
Exactly.
But if he has another double, then you can either give him like dodge and be like, well, you know, he'll be a really hard piece to knock down. He'll be an always useful guard piece. Or you can give him stand firm. Give him stand firm, and he'll never like be moved. So.
Actually, in this case, I would prefer stand firm.
Okay, fantastic. Well, at least we agree on that.
Stand firm here would be really great.
I would consider now, with that white, that's 1 SPP from leveling with Mighty Blow, you can either turn him into a tackle piece because you don't have any tackle on your team, or you can just decide to say, give him guard, because that werewolf with Mighty Blow block will be getting tackle, he will be leveling up, and he blitzes way more. Granted, you do want a Mighty Blow piece that doesn't have Frenzy, because you can't always blitz with Frenzy.
Yeah, exactly. And you want both, because you want, on the Necro team, I think that you should develop 1 white killer and 1 werewolf killer.
Yeah, it's
according to most of the Necro team players, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, you are like always struggling for guard, so you might want to consider guard next, just because like he will still kill things that white.
Yeah,
and he has free edge, so he can score pretty easily. But you do.
I think I think it is if you don't face any agile or like heavy dodge teams, skip to tackle and go for guard. And if you can roll with without the tackle, just go for it. You
Yeah,
know.
definitely.
But if you face the dodge, just take the tackle.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those scenarios. Well, it depends on what he's facing next.
Definitely, absolutely. This team is looking pretty good for a team that struggled all season.
Yeah,
So,
I will say so as well.
so hands off.
Well done, Mego, to
Yeah.
keeping it in there.
Hats off. So Boltpop's team is something that has some nice stat ups here and there, and even a nice double in terms of the Blodge Guard Blitzer. The Witch Elf with the Edge Up is fantastic. That Blodge Edge Up linesman is still a star player. The Move Up Blitzer, pretty good. And a lot of these players are very close to getting their next level, which will give them, you know... Boltpop is really is in a position where he can, like a game, have 2 or 3 level ups, so...
Yeah, and I would say keep the team.
Keep
playing them.
This would be a team that I absolutely keep. It's a fully online Dark Elf team, and he'll do well in his next season.
And I mean, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blodge.
Yeah,
I mean, it's great.
it's amazing.
You don't need more, and even with the movement up and the agile up that you have, is making it even better.
Yeah, there's literally not a single thing that I'm like, I wouldn't take this on that player.
Exactly. And you have the guard on 1 blitzer as well.
The only difference between this really and Harmor's team is there's no killing threat. But I would think I would prefer this team to be like this anyway. It has great pitch control. I think any subsequent double that he rolls on the blitzers should be guard and just like go the guard route. And just hope that either your Witch Elf with the Edge Up gets Mighty Blow, or your new Witch Elf that you get to build because, you know, it got recycled for you and it died a few games ago, will get Mighty Blow. This team is very nice. It's a very nice team. It's solid.
It's a very nice team.
No TV is wasted. There's nothing that I would say that I wouldn't take. Yeah, just efficient, effective, and Boltplop has a nice healthy team going into the next season. I think he has all 11. Just maybe get extra linesmen down the line, and I would be very happy with this team if this was me coaching it for a second season.
Yeah, I would be very happy with it as well.
No criticisms. So let's talk about Innovations team now.
I think
this is an interesting team.
It is. It's gonna be strong in the end.
In the end,
give it one more season, and I'm really afraid of it.
It needs at least like a season. It definitely needs half a season. Here's my view on the point. It has like a great potential for in a single game to get like a nice like MVP on the strength up guy, and you could get like a touchdown on Bluebeard, for example.
Yep.
And then you have like block guard and then block strength 5, and it's like pretty good. He needs the Pestigores to develop though as well. He needs block or piling on. He needs sure hands on one of them. He needs even the wrestle piece, the wrestle Pestigore. He needs those pieces. He is just short of having a pretty amazing team.
And I mean those things. Most Nurgle people that I've spoken to do level Pestigores the way of what skill does this come with? What stat up will determine what a Pestigore does? Kinda mentality. Where if a Pestigore have block, you will, and it just rolls agile, you all of a sudden, oh, he's a block carrier now. Then you just give him all the carrying skill and ball skills you can in the world. And let's just hold our thumbs that doesn't become a golden goose.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as you're saying, a touchdown on Bluebeard, MVP on Iron John. This team is looking fantastic. That Beast of Nurgle. I'm gonna say that if you want a fully fleshed Nurgle warrior, people will trade you stuff for that.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
I would go out on the fence that people will trade you really well developed Nurgle warriors for that.
I feel like you could definitely get like a block guard one. Which
Yeah,
is,
a
which is
block guard one, maybe two. If you have just a block one.
I don't think. I think it would generally be just the one, because a lot of people would see that too much as like a thing to develop, and considering
Yeah.
it doesn't usually hit or anything, and it really
No,
needs.
but
If that was stand firm, then oh my god, you could just
ooh,
have
yeah.
anything you want.
Yeah. But definitely reach out to the Negro community and see what people will bid for it if you are interested to actually get rid of it.
This team though, at the end of the day, needs guard more than anything, and that's why it's not as
They
effective.
need another season, and it's Nurgle.
The,
It needs it.
the one thing I would say to innovation is, if you roll a double on Golden Goose or a stat up, just don't take it.
Yeah.
Don't like
Yeah.
everything you'd want on a Pestigore as a killer, you get on normals. Like,
Yeah.
you get strength, general mutation, so you get any. There's nothing that you could possibly want in a double. Even jump up is like not that good.
Yeah, exactly. The thing was, I was just gonna mention jump up or movement up. That's the only two skills I could see or stat ups that you want.
Like strength up as well is okay, but like.
But you don't need it because you have horns. You blitz on a strength 4 anyhow.
Yeah, and things like without block and without piling on, the team
Yeah.
just isn't as effective. You need block at least. You need block, because otherwise he's a victim as much as he is a killer, and he has better, like, worse chance of knocking things down.
Yeah.
The innovations team is exciting. I'd love to if this was my team going into next season as well, for a different reason compared to Bolt Plops. But he needs another season badly.
Yep.
And to no fault of his own, it's purely because Nurgle lies like that.
Yeah. Nurgle have that core base that are really heavy and good, but they need development, and we're seeing it's being developed good.
Yeah. We're now going to Zahu as our last coach, and his team. Now, here's my view and my thoughts on Zahu's team. He has some very nice pieces. Like, the guard that he's rolled in the doubles are very exciting. He has a nice sacker in the making. He has a strength 3 piece will become a great sacker as well. He has a blodge sidestep piece. The problem is that this team has taken way too many busts. I wouldn't remove half of them. For example, I wouldn't remove the edge down linesman by any means. I wouldn't remove the gutter runner who has the strength down, because he's a natural one turner. The thrower though, block, he hasn't gotten anything apart from block. But being 6 movement makes him nigh on useless for me, because he needs the movement to be able to pick up the ball on kickoff and then get down the pitch far enough to make either a 3+ if he has to, or do the handoff.
Exactly. He needs to also be being able to keep up with the movement 7 of the rat team itself. That's one of the reasons why you're playing rats, is the movement of every player.
Yes, he needs to be fast.
And because you're kind of playing them for the same reason that you're playing Wood Elves. They are faster, but they don't do the pure agile stuff.
Yeah.
You're basically trading movement instead of agility.
And with the Storm Vermin, the edge down isn't the most important thing in the world, to be honest. Like, he shouldn't be getting trapped. He shouldn't be getting hit. He shouldn't be getting, like, based up on things and need dodging, because you should have him blitz something, run behind a screen, and someone would have to, like, literally go out their way to stand on that guy if they go through a screen, which usually for a rat team is like, oh, they just gave up position so I can, so that's not a big deal. But at the same time, it's a piece that you might want to consider no Apo rights, or, like, even if you really wanted to recycle, I wouldn't hate you for it, because it's at the same time, 3 Adge is nice, 2 Adge really sucks, especially on a killer. And he has nothing special, he's all normals, so it's not the worst thing in the world.
If you want to cycle him, I would say that you need to sacrifice at least 2 touchdowns straight onto him and really be cautious. Like, I can get those 2 touchdowns and really believe in yourself that you can do that. If you want to recycle him. Otherwise, I would say keep him. Because he's better than a fresh one, but he's worse than a mighty blow one, I would say.
Yeah, in the long run, he will find that his busts suck.
Yeah, exactly. Because dodging out on a 3+ when you need to blitz something is possible, but he can stick around for now and just take the no Apo right.
Absolutely. absolutely, yep. So the team's otherwise pretty good. It can do pretty nice. It does need a little bit of a rebuild. If he isn't going to buy anything on the market, or he can't get anything on the market, because Skaven will also be another popular market for people looking to get things.
Very much so.
He
Yeah.
could, I would say, get rid of the thrower, buy a new
Yep.
thrower, add
Yep.
another normal line rat, maybe recycle the Storm Vermin if you're that way inclined. Otherwise,
Mhm.
yeah. You also could consider, I think this would be a very good investment if he doesn't buy anything, go get the Wizard Stadium.
Yeah.
Because with Rats, Wizard Stadium, against a lot of teams,
Oh, really good.
It's like an I win button sometimes. Not
Yeah,
always, but it can.
And with the Movement 10 Gutter Runner, you can be sure that you can get around them.
Yes, precisely, yeah.
So
So that is Zahu's team. It looks pretty good. It can function. It's a standard rat team. It has a few busts which it needs to be tidied up, I think, but that's about it. And with that,
and then we have Mac
McNaughton's team.
Wharton's. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't develop all season. No
Yeah, I don't know what
SVB.
they've done.
Yeah. You'd think they'd even
awful.
like pick up MVPs, but no, I guess.
No. They're too bad for it.
Yeah, historically the Scottish haven't been the most useful of coaches or people or anything, so that's I guess why. It's just he couldn't function because it's coached by McNaughton. But unfortunately, with that recap, that's the end of Division 5B's lifespan entire.
Yeah,
that's it.
exactly.
That's done.
A heads up about the Discord channel. I will keep it around as long as we haven't rolled into a new season, so we can still banter on about in there.
Yeah.
But as this new season starts, I will take away the Discord. If you've got any memories on here, please save them.
Yeah,
now,
good idea.
if you want.
Yeah. If you have anything that you want to save that.
Yeah, but it will be up for at least 6 more weeks or something.
If you guys, if like a group of you want to like make your own Discord as like, oh, we were the 5B boys and we go straight ahead.
Yeah, exactly. I might want to do something like that.
Yeah, that'd be fine. It's maybe part of it is also just because there will be another 5B, and rather than confuse people with like this 5B Discord, it might be just be like season 11's 5B is like just gone now. I think would be
exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So I think I speak for both of us when I say you've been a fantastic division to recap. You've all been very positive in your feedback on the recaps. You've all made this sort of worthwhile.
Very
You've
much.
all been watching, and we all really appreciate it. We're glad that we could finally get this post cap out to you. We're glad that we could give you your final show. I guess the key thing again is to once again congratulate Falcon Merc and Nabla for their fantastic season, but also their securing of their own playoff and Challenger Cup spots.
Exactly, and also congratulations to Benny for the Tshirt.
Yeah, congratulations to Benny, who wins the Turn 16 foul contest with style. Congratulations for removing another Edge 5 elf out of this gene pool. Much appreciated, I suppose, for the rest of the league. I think, what else do I want to say?
Bounty board has gone very far and wide. I'm gonna check as we speak. What is standing on there? So if you have killed anything, remember to write it in if you have, because I think it's gonna be cashed out really soon for me. And once I've done that, I'm gonna, it's. So we have killed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players at least, or retired. From 7 teams, so that's good.
Yeah, it is.
It's half the league being done.
That is a good statistic. It's a good.
It's a good bounty board statistic, I would say.
Yes, absolutely. And finally, I think check the calendar, check the playoff schedule and all that to catch up on Nebula and Falcon Merc. when
Yes.
and if they play. I know Falcon Merc is going back to his home country, so he might not be able
Yeah.
to play. 5G might not be able to hold up. An interesting caveat that I mentioned in the chat, I'm the same core of the bracket or whatever as Falcon
As
Merc.
Falcon Merc, yeah.
So if we manage to push forward and both of us win our first 2 games, I think it shakes out as we'll face each other.
Yep.
But at the same time, I can't read, evidently, because I completely like the bracket. The way its bracket set up in terms of the Google Doc is for me like semi-unreadable or like very confusing. So
It is confusing.
I don't like it. Fair enough, you know. It's
They've tried the best.
the admins, yeah, they're doing a fine job, but I can't read it, and I refuse to learn from my mistakes. So, but I think that's right, that I would face Falcon Merc in 2 games time if we both
I
won.
believe you would face him eventually.
Which would be fun if we could play, but most likely not, because I play Underworld and you're a Season 1 team. So it's unlikely that either of us will get past like the second game.
Merc. Go Falcon Merc.
But yeah, give them support. Tune in.
Yep.
Give your 5B compatriots all the support they need. But I guess that's now it, because I have nothing else to really update.
Yeah,
with.
that's it. That's it.
What
That's
is it?
the end of our recaps.
We wish you all the best of luck in the next season.
Yep.
Whether you re-roll, you keep your teams, or even if you want to sit out a season of Rebel, we hope to see you either way at some point down the line. Maybe one of you will be in my recap division next year. I probably won't only be doing 1 next year, just because I think 2 has been a bit.
I might co-host in my future division, but I might not take on a recap myself. We will see.
We will see. We'll see how I feel, but I'll probably be doing at least our recap a week. So hopefully I'll get to see one of you again. In which case, excited to see what the assignment will be in the future. But that is us for now.
Yep.
We won't be putting out any like sort of catching up on the playoffs. We'll have to do that entirely within catching up on what happens on the official playoff schedules and the official playoff recaps or you know, whatever media that REBBL puts out for that. But until then, until the next time we meet, if we ever do meet again, it's me, Chugman, signing off.
And it's me, Dr. Herb.
Have a great postseason or preseason or greenhorn or whatever. Until then, take care.